Welcome to Voices of Fremont. Today we're on the BART train.
Yeah, today our podcast is going to be from the BART, and we're taking the line from San Jose to San Francisco. Two of the stations on the way there are in our city of Fremont.
Yeah, there's been a lot of misconceptions about how the BART is always very inconvenient or dirty, but today we're going to be telling you why you should be taking it. Okay, to start us off, we'd like to ask you, what is your personal experience using public transportation? Do you have any stories you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using BART since I was a little kid. It was always a fun thing to do. I used to go to A's games, as well as Raiders and Warriors when the Warriors were in Oakland. So it was always fun. So, when I was young, we pretty much walked everywhere, or we biked, or we took the bus. We didn't have professional parent chaperones that could drive us around.
Yeah.
So you guys are lucky. But we need to change the culture and bring people back into walking, biking, taking public transit.
Yeah, one thing people do when they choose transportation method is to look at the cost. And with recent rising gas prices, do you think that BART is becoming a more efficient alternative?
I think so. Plus the convenience, right? You don't have to make decisions. You can be on your laptop, do work. I think the big concern with the BART right now is it's not connected with all the other systems, and I think that's what we need to work on.
Great.
At one time, there was a goal to have all of BART stations be like a ring around the Bay Area, but South Bay and San Mateo County didn't want to be a part of that. So now we're trying to undo that and fix it, and that's costing a lot of money. It almost costs $1 billion a station. Yeah, so now we're trying to correct that.
Yeah. I know that safety is always a really big issue when it comes to public safety. Is there anything specific Fremont's doing to make it safer or kind of feel less of concern?
Well, so we work closely with the BART police. So BART has definitely done a much better job. I'll wait for this. BART's definitely done a much better job in beefing up their policing. So you have more police officers that are on the BART train. They have these new gates that prevent people from jumping into the station. So it's definitely gotten a lot better. I mean, you can look at the BART train today, it looks pretty clean and looks relatively safe. So I think it's kind of overblown. Mm-hmm. In today's world of social media, when one person's affected, it gets blasted everywhere and people get fearful. Yeah. But I think, BART's doing his job, and City of Fremont's also partnering around the BART stations. We partner with them in case there's any issue. Our police will come and take care of any safety concerns. Also, we're looking at lighting around the BART stations, make sure it's improved.
The doors are
so it's got a lot of promise.
The doors.
Yeah.
So we did want to know about the existing transit stations here in Fremont, BART and other public transit, like DC Transit.
Yeah, so we have 4 transit areas. We've got the Ace Train Amtrak in Centerville. We've got the downtown BART station. We've got the Warm Springs BART station. And we're working on another BART station in Irvington District. So that one, we have the land around the area, and we have prioritized it as an immediate project. But we're looking to collect more funding for that so we can make that happen.
Right. What would you need to push that through and make it possible? How well?
So it's a near-term project, so within the next 7 to 10 years.
Right.
Hopefully sooner rather than later. Before I was mayor, it had been de-escalated to a tier 2 project, meaning it would be a longer-term project. So we were able to work with ACTC and MTC to make it a top priority. So that allows us to get funding sooner. And so, as I mentioned, we own a lot of the parcels around that area. We have a plan in the works. So now we just need a little bit more money to drop the new BART station there.
I did want to ask exactly where would that BART station be?
It's right there by Washington and Driscoll. So you'll see when you look down, there's like a little platform, and that's the future site by Osgood. Yeah.
So I've heard that around 15% of Fremont's population is made up of seniors and disabled community. Are there any precautions we're taking to make it kind of easier for them to access the BART or public transport?
Yeah, I think wherever we can, we're doing ADA upgrades. If you look at our sidewalks and even our signals. So I think definitely it is. And even if you look at BART train today, I mean, they have so many seats for our disabled individuals. And so it's very accessible. So I'm hopeful that we're going to continue to work on that and expand upon that. And unrelated to this, in City of Fremont, we want people to be able to age in place. So a lot of our developments and a lot of our projects are meant so that people can live in the same house until their last breath. Yeah.
I did want to ask, is there any issues or complaints that you've been hearing about the BART, and what are you doing to work to address this?
Well, I think there's three usual complaints. One is cleanliness.
Right.
Second is safety, and third is convenience. So I think the safety the BART is trying to address with the BART police officers, as well as the new gates. Cleanliness, again, they got the new trains now. They're constantly cleaning and trying to make it better. And then the convenience, that's the hardest, because we want BART to connect well with all the different transit agencies. You want to be able to take one pass and get on BART, AC Transit, Ace Train, Caltran, so that you're not constantly trying to shift from one place to the other. The one thing we haven't solved for and we need to work harder on is the last mile. Once you get off the BART station, how do you get to your final destination? So we need to make it easy like they've done it in Europe. And so I think for a long time in America, in the Bay Area, we're way behind on public transit. So we need to put more investment into that.
So next, I was wondering, so there is a lot of growing population within Fremont, and especially during peak hours, there is a lot of traffic congestion.
The next station is Lake Merritt.
How does Fremont plan on taking action to kind of have people, encourage people to start taking public transport or other alternatives?
Yeah, so one thing on traffic congestion, we're prioritizing our signal timing. A lot of our signals were the same as when the first iPhones came out. And so now we have new signal timing that coordinates so that we can prioritize traffic flow. So sometimes you'll see it'll be on Fremont Boulevard, and then within 10 minutes you can go from north to south Fremont. But besides that, we're trying to get people out of cars. So we want people to walk, we want people to bike, we want people to take buses, BART, and shuttle services. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is getting our youth, and maybe you guys could be the leadership on this, is how do we get young people to use buses, bike, or walk to their schools? Because that could be a game changer. If you look at a majority of the traffic in Fremont in the morning time is from schools. Or again, when schools end, it's around, again, people picking up their kids. And so imagine if you could get all those cars off the roads and people could just walk, where they need to go. So I think one is we need to encourage people to feel safer and comfortable walking by themselves and biking in groups. So I think we need to change the culture around that.
Yeah, I think the worst traffic is right after school, seeing all the cars trying to leave valet.
Exactly. And so the other thing we're doing is we are planning future growth around transit. So as I mentioned, we have 4 transit areas. So all future growth is going to be in those areas. And the benefit of that is that it reduces urban sprawl. It allows people to live close to transit so they can walk from their apartment to the transit stop, go to San Francisco or wherever they need to go. They have restaurants there, entertainment there, so you have little villages where everything is covered. So you're not trying to go from Mission San Jose, all the way to the Ardenwood. So that's what we're prioritizing.
Right.
And that's what our young people, that's what the future folks, they want to have housing that's near all of that. And they want to have amenities, they want to have nice places, they want more entertainment, they want nicer restaurants. They don't necessarily care about a big house with a big yard. They would rather have more of the quality of life. So I think that's what we're planning for. Yeah.
So for our final question, obviously we want more people to start using BART from now on. Who do you think is not using BART right now that could really benefit from the BART system?
I think it's a lot of folks. I think all of us need to ask ourselves a question, how can I use public transit? How do we get away from, walking and biking and taking our cars everywhere? Do we have friends that are also going to the same area we are? And I think, again, our youth could be a huge game changer. So all of those will be important.
And that's a wrap on today's episode about Fremont's public transit. We hope that this gave you some good insights into why you should take public transport.
Stay tuned, stay happy.